Would you like some memory techniques for studying any topic that are easy and fun to use? Well, I got 4 of them for you in this video. Some of them are actually, one of them is not so great, but we'll have a look at 4 of them, and that's courtesy of magneticmemorymethod.com. My name is Anthony Metivier, and this video for you and the information in it is for you if you want memory techniques for studying easy, intermediate, and difficult topics. You want to study faster, you want information to enter long-term memory, and you're willing to try new things because some of these things may be new. And if that all sounds good to you and you're ready, hit that thumbs up button and let's go. So to make this a little bit more easy for you, and if you need to come back and watch it again, no problem, remember R.A.M.S, okay? So acronyms are very, very powerful, and this is a 5th little bonus technique for you when you're studying. Whenever you can, make little acronyms that will help you remember key concepts. And I hope that you'll think of this one when you're trying to remember some of the memory techniques that we thought about today. Now, the first one is rote learning. Now, I think we all know about that, but did we ever really think about what it is, right? Well, rote learning is essentially repeating information until it gets into long-term memory without any mnemonics. Now, that's a bit strange because actually mnemonics means memory technique, right? And so therefore, rote learning is part of the world of memory techniques. It is a technique for remembering things, exposing yourself to information over and over and over again. And depending on the information, it certainly can work. You can put it on index cards, you can use spaced repetition software, you can just use internal repetition. So someone says their name and says, hey, my name is Bob, and you just keep saying Bob, 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 Bob. It's not all that foolproof, but it exists, and it is a technique, and you can use it when you are studying, and in some cases it just is the thing to do, okay? And throughout life you may wind up using it very, very successfully, but you want other tools in your toolbox. Anyway, I got this picture here of this app conversation, because the problem with rote learning is that it has evolved into a lot of software, and we're doing it in the context of spaces where we're easily interrupted. So we need to protect ourselves from that. And to give you a little asset around that, I created a podcast and a blog post if you like to read and listen and you enjoy long-form content that helps you expand your attention span. Well, that's there for you. It's Digital Amnesia, 5 Ways to Stop Google from Ruining Your Memory. And really, Google I'm using as a metaphor for all of the online things that we enjoy. And I'm not saying throw them away. I'm just saying we got to be cautious about this, because often the poison is the cure, you know, and the cure is filled with lots of poison. So we got to be really careful about that. In any case, that's one technique. Rote learning is a legit memory technique, no doubt about it. A better memory technique, of course, is to use association. So association is really a long topic. We won't get too deep into it now. I just want you to know that it's there if you don't already, and it's got a lot of dimensions to it. So there are a number of ways that you can make associations. So let's say you wanted to memorize that Hamlet was written in 1600 by William Shakespeare. Now, that may or may not be the case. It's argued about exactly when Shakespeare wrote, or even if he lived at all or wrote anything. Maybe it was some other guy, Fulk Greville or Francis Bacon or whoever. There's lots of arguments out there, but let's just say it's true, right? So how are you going to make that visual? For example, how are you going to make an association that's visual to that? Well, you could imagine maybe that you remember your Sweet 16 and you were in Denmark, for example, and then you just have an association that allows you to go to 1600, and you know that Hamlet takes place in Denmark, right? So it's kind of like visual. You think about your Sweet 16 and you maybe think of the movie, The Sweet 16, and so on and so on, and you're kind of getting pictures in your mind. But it could also be auditory, right? So you could sing a song like 16 Candles or whatever. I don't know any songs really about that, but you could make it have a sound level, and you can also think of the feeling, right? So you can remember, oh, what did it feel like when I was 16? And I remember, oh yeah, I must have been in grade 11, and yeah, we read Midsummer Night's Dream, and then you start to associate from the feeling of the chair you were sitting in the class, and go from there, and you're making associations. You can also think of smells and tastes, and also just concepts, right? So for example, 1600, well, we know that one of the great great figures from the history of memory, whose name is Giordano Bruno. Really great guy. I have an interview with one of his translators, Scott Gosnell, on the Magnetic Memory Method podcast. Some of his writing on memory is just profound, but he was burned at the stake in 1600, and it turns out that Shakespeare, if he existed, and if he wrote his plays, apparently he was very influenced by Giordano Bruno's stubbornness and based Hamlet on his character. Again, I don't know if that's true or not. It's one of those things that I've memorized from my reading, and it's just crazy enough to make sense. So it could be that that's the case. But what I'm doing is I'm making a conceptual association that helps me remember this. And you don't expect associations of any of these kinds to just fall out of the sky. You actually have to intentionally make them. So when you come across something that you want to memorize while you're learning, think, what could I see in my mind as an association to this? What could I feel in my body? What could I hear in my ears? What could I taste in my mouth? What could I smell in my nose? And what could I conceive in my brain? It's really, really powerful. So I hope you'll give that a try. Now, take it to the next level and you stick all that stuff in a memory palace. So this is the M in our R.A.M.S technique, right? So we got rote, we've got association, and then we've got memory palace. R-A-M-S is coming up. But memory palace, what is a memory palace? Memory palaces are really, really cool. They need to be well formed, however. They need to avoid the classic problems that beginners make with memory palaces because they get a lot of bad advice all over the internet about how to create them. And, you might be thinking, who the hell are you to talk about the bad advice of others? Well, I'm the one who's answering tons of questions, thousands upon thousands of questions every year to help set this straight, and have created a lot of training around it because people, they start off struggling with this technique and then they get it solved and then they hit the ground running finally. And you just got to be practiced with this technique. There's no getting around that. So if you've seen one of my other videos about how to use memory palace training exercises, then I think you'll benefit from that. So you know how to practice this. But here's the deal. This is where this all goes. Memory palace equals happy. When you get this technique, you're going to have a big old smile on your face like Tom did. This was down in Guilin in China, and he just took his memory palace thing. He was totally skeptical that this is going to work, and he went home, and he came back the next night. He's like, the next day, and he just said, man, you changed my life. And he had memorized 20 Chinese idioms, really complex stuff, in one memory palace. So it's pretty cool what you can do in a very short period of time when you understand this technique, and it really doesn't take that long to figure it out if you're willing to follow a few steps to get it right the first time. Now, you got the fourth technique. Remember, we need an S here to complete our R.A.M.S. Well, same old strategy, right? So if your same old strategy is working, great. Why fix it if it ain't broken, right? But if it's not, get some memory training, because if you just keep doing the same old thing, you're going to get the same old results, okay? So if rote learning isn't working, then just find something else. Learn about association. If association isn't enough, learn about the memory palace. If the memory palace isn't enough, well, you can get in touch and we can maybe find a strategy for you. But at the end of the day, memory techniques for studying to learn more faster has these four things that you can go to, okay? And one of them is not good, and one of them is probably better than the others, and you can really, really think for yourself what it is that you would like to do. So if there is a magic bullet, number 3 is definitely that bullet. The memory palace is so great. So let me give you an unfair advantage for watching this video. I've got a memory palace training course, and it's got a free memory kit involved in it, and you get walked through this step by step. But I know there are a lot of people who watch this channel and they don't want the free course. They just want to go straight to the training. So let me talk to you a little bit about the Magnetic Memory Method Masterclass. It's not only for people really who are serious about dramatically improving their memory for topic mastery, language learning, and total self-development. They're willing to put in the time. They're willing to do the work, take responsibility for their success. I have personal challenges too. I overcome every problem, no matter what it is, and there really are no excuses. And sometimes the problems take time, but if you have the right training, you really, really accelerate how fast you can go. So you're going to get a course called the Master Plan. It's got all of this stuff about creating effective memory palaces, how to use them, how to memorize any book that you read, how to quickly and easily recall any stored information. Common questions are answered. You get advanced memory palace techniques. You get a recap and a review. Plus, you're going to get some very, very powerful additional next level bonus courses, which are what make it the masterclass. So you get vocabulary memorization, you get names and faces, numbers and equations, poetry and speeches, any verbatim text whatsoever, how to memorize a deck of cards, which is a great fitness exercise, not just for your memory, but for your entire brain and creativity and so forth. And you also get the vocabulary builder worksheets and exercises, ebook versions of the courses. There's lifetime access to course updates, which there are frequent updates. Actually, there's an FAQ section in there. So when people have questions that haven't been answered already, I make a little video for them and use their memory palaces often enough. So that's all there. And, we just have a lot of fun. And I'm really blessed by the people who are supporters of this work. Barbara Oakley, who's the co-creator of Learning How to Learn, has had some nice things to say after looking at my work. Alex MULLEN, who has now won the World Memory Championships 3 times, so that's really, really exciting. Tony BUZAN gave me the Warrior of the Mind emblem for outstanding contributions to global mental literacy, so that was really nice. And you probably have read Moonwalking with Einstein, so you know what that little emblem is. And basically, for more information, I really would love for you to get that free training if you're interested, but if you want to just jump straight to the masterclass, that link is there for you as well. If you're not subscribed to this channel, get involved, explore the back catalog. There's 300 plus videos. It's not a course, it's not a structured syllabus, but there's just stuff there that has helped people and will continue to help people as long as YouTube survives and thrives, and you're part of that. So getting involved in the training that you want to support will help that, and any teacher you see out there, you really should give them some level of support in whatever way that you can, because if we don't, we're going to lose this great asset that we're enjoying right now here on YouTube. I'll also just say, I have a mission in all of this, and that's to dramatically improve your memory. And I often think about PewDiePie. I really like the guy. I think his videos are great. And I think that he's got way too many subscribers, though, compared to the memory trainers out there. So I'd love for you to be subscribed to every single memory trainer on YouTube. And if we could get that amount together, the world would be instantly better overnight, because people would be at least exposed to their memory and the asset that it can become if you learn how to train it. And to do all this while staying true to the magnetic memory method creed, while contributing to online education as it evolves, and put systems in place to help billions of people learn better and keep the tradition of mnemonics alive and thriving, because quite frankly, it is under threat. And that's a very, very sad thing. So I really, really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. I hope you get involved in whatever way is right for you. And until we have a chance to speak again, keep yourself magnetic.